The news you can count on. Mayport to Ponte Vedra Beach. The Island Times News Update begins right now. Here's Tom Patton.
Welcome to the Island Times News Update. I'm Tom Patton. The Neptune Beach City Council will not reverse its decision to deny a development permit for a bed and breakfast hotel at 108 Orange Street. The owners of the property, Doug and Becky Driver, filed a Burt Harris Act claim against the city, providing documentation they assert shows the denial of the development order has resulted in a loss of at least $82,500. The law requires the city to respond within 150 days of the filing, giving the city a deadline of January 27th. City Attorney Patrick Krachowski told the council that an appraiser hired by the city found the property is worth more as a vacant residential lot than as a vacant commercial lot based on multiple criteria. The appraiser hired by the city cited the small size of the property, the access, the very limited parking, and the distance of the property from other commercial properties in the central business district.
The appraiser concluded that as a vacant residential property, it's worth $55 per square foot, equaling $160,000. As a vacant commercial lot, the property is worth $30 per square foot, equaling $90,000. Based on that information alone, it's my recommendation that the city convey to the drivers that no changes to the previous denial of the preliminary development order will be offered per statute. That is one of the options under the statute.
Krachowski said that he was still reviewing whether the Burt Harris Act is applicable in this instance because the city had not amended that section of the code since 1991, and the act is not applicable to any law passed prior to 1995. He said it is unlikely the drivers have any intention of settling with the city. With a unanimous vote, the council instructed Krachowski to inform the drivers through their attorney that they find no basis for reversing the denial of the development order under the Burt Harris Act. Neptune Beach continued to work through issues with establishing a share plan as part of its overall police pension plan. The Police Pension Board asked the city to create a plan to distribute money collected as intangibles taxes that is earmarked by the state for law enforcement. The city has set aside the money it has received from this tax for several years and now has a pool of over $230,000 from those premium tax collections. Money from that source was used last year to pay a so-called 13th check to retired law enforcement officers who had not seen a cost of living increase in their pensions for several years, and a similar bonus is likely this year. The pool of money would also be used to establish the share plan for distribution of those tax receipts to both current and retired law enforcement officers. The Neptune Beach Police Pension Plan is currently funded at 82% of liability, which is considered very strong. The plan also anticipates a rate of return on its investments of 8%, which it has not always realized. Councilman John Jolly proposed amendments to the ordinance to create the share plan that would assume a rate of return of 8%, but would not pay the 13th check to retirees in years when the investments did not meet that 8% benchmark. He would also use 25% of the $234,000 in the pool, or $57,762, to initially fund the share plan, another 25% to pay the 13th check this year, and half, or $115,524, to reduce the unfunded liability of the plan.
So it means that when the actuary comes out, our percentage that we have to pay is going to go up. We're going to pay more general fund dollars. The general fund only has really one source of money that we can tap into and increase, and that's ad valorem taxes. So if we don't get help on this part of this money coming in, essentially this council, maybe next year or whatever, is going to have to increase the taxes on our people. I'm trying to not do that. This money that we're talking about is not money that the policemen did anything to earn. It's just something that the legislation passed and put a tax on our people, citizens of Florida, and said, okay, here's the money you can give the policemen. I'm hoping we can give them. I hope that we can have good money every year and give it to them. But if we don't, I say we should not do that.
Neptune Beach Finance Director Steve Ramsey said that this year, the city anticipates getting about $29,000 from the state for additional police benefits, such as a 13th check and the share plan. Councilman Scott Wiley disagreed with Jolly, saying that the 13th check should not be withheld because the plan's investment did not return 8%, a number that is out of reach for most investments.
I don't think taking away that money and applying $29,000 of money that would go into a share plan, I don't think that money every now and then or every other year is going to save the pension fund. I don't think that's going to, I think the pension fund with the proper investments, with people coming in, is going to basically fund itself. And 8%, everybody says that's too high. I mean, there's companies now dropping it down to 7%, and we're up at 8%. So I just don't think that's fair.
Members of the council will have an additional 2 weeks to mull their positions on the ordinance and Councilman Jolly's proposed amendments. The ordinance will be on the agenda for a first reading at the council's next regular meeting on February 6th. The Jacksonville Beach City Council gave preliminary approval to an expansion at Beaches Hospital at its regular meeting Tuesday night. The planned unit development considered by the council includes a modified footprint for the South Pavilion expansion, would relocate an internal roadway and add parking spaces, and relocate the existing helipad. City Manager George Forbes said that the modifications are relatively minor. Forbes also drew attention to a proposed 5-story parking garage on the campus.
It does state here that there's a future 5-story parking garage, 60 foot high, and a future 4-story building, the East Pavilion. And so you might ask yourself, well, how can that be? We have 35-foot high. And the reason is that at our request, the charter amendment, when it went into effect, they made a change that I requested that said that existing PUDs were grandfathered from the height restrictions. So as I asked Bill that earlier this morning to double check it, and so this is grandfathered in, so that just at the hospital they can still build to this height because they had an existing PUD at the time that the referendum was passed. And it's actually in the referendum that existing PUDs are exempt.
The changes were approved unanimously on first read. The ordinance will be back on the agenda at the next regular meeting for another public hearing and a second vote. Well, when we come back, police pensions are also on the agenda for the Atlantic Beach City Commission. This is the Island Times News Update.
The news you can count on. The Island Times News Update will be right back.
Beaches Academy Child Care Center in Jacksonville Beach has been offering affordable, loving child care to families in the Beaches communities for 35 years. Conveniently located on Penman Road, Beaches Academy offers care for children from infants through preschool, with programs that encourage learning and outdoor play. Our affordable tuition means families can get quality child care at a price that fits their budget. Contact Beaches Academy at 246-3885 and schedule a tour of our center. Beaches Academy, the child always comes first. Charlie's Tropic Heating and Air Conditioning in Atlantic Beach offers a full range of residential and commercial heating and air conditioning services, from new installation to replacement and remodeling. Charlie's Tropic Heating and Air Conditioning can keep your home comfortable year-round, and they offer preventive maintenance contracts to keep your system running at peak efficiency. Charlie's Tropic Heating and Air Conditioning is an authorized Bryant dealer and will service all brands. For year-round comfort in your home or business, contact the original Charlie's Tropic Heating and Air Conditioning at 241-1788.
Welcome back to the Island Times News Update. I'm Tom Patton. The Atlantic Beach City Commission will consider a resolution Monday night to provide additional contributions to the city's police pension fund. The police department returns as much as $400,000 to the general fund at the end of many fiscal years. The resolution would allow the Commission to approve diverting up to 90% of those monies to the police pension fund, which is currently funded at 67% of its accrued liability, according to city documents. If approved, the city would apply 90% of the returned money, or $200,000, to fund the pensions, whichever is less. The Commission would make a determination about the amount to be transferred on an annual basis. The Commission will also take a final vote on a proposal for a pilot program to allow residents to keep backyard hens in the city limits. That ordinance passed 4-1 at the previous regular meeting, with Commissioner John Stinson voting no. 5 suspects in a string of burglaries in Atlantic Beach were apprehended by the Atlantic Beach Police Department last Sunday. According to the police department, officers responded to a burglary in progress on Beachside Court just before midnight. On arrival, officers observed a vehicle matching the description given by the complainant on Seminole Road. The vehicle, which turned out to be stolen from Jacksonville, fled, and then numerous black male juveniles ran from the vehicle. Atlantic Beach police officers, Neptune Beach police officers, JSO Patrol and K-9, as well as the JSO helicopter all assisted in the search. 5 suspects were apprehended, but there are believed to be more individuals that were not caught. Many stolen items were recovered from inside the stolen vehicle. It was determined that at least 6 burglaries to unlocked cars and open garages had been committed on Sunday night by the suspects. All 5 that were apprehended were between the ages of 14 and 16 and were from the west side of Jacksonville. Mayor Lenny Curry will be the featured speaker at the First Coast Republican Club at its meeting Monday night. Curry will discuss a range of issues concerning the city of Jacksonville. The meetings are held the 4th Monday of each month at Casa Marina in Jacksonville Beach. The doors open at 6:30, with the meeting beginning at 7.
The news you can count on. Mayport to Ponte Vedra Beach, forecasting your beaches. This is your local look weather.
We'll see some big changes in our weather over the weekend, but the mild weather will return fairly quickly. The National Weather Service says we can expect showers and thunderstorms over the weekend and cooler temperatures on Sunday and Monday. Some of those storms could produce heavy rains and damaging winds. Highs will be in the 70s on Saturday and Sunday, but fall into the 60s by Monday as the front pushes through. Lows will be in the 60s on Saturday and the 50s on Sunday night, but temperatures will recover into the 70s by the middle of the week. The Island Times is always digital, always free at theislandtimes.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter to be the first to know about stories posted on the Island Times. I'm Tom Patton. Thanks for watching.